Welcome to SATV News. This is Ghazi Farhana with your headlines. BNP clinches landslide victory in election, defeating Jamaat Islami-led alliance. CS vote triumphs in the referendum with 60% turnout, says EC. World leaders congratulate Tariq Rahman on BNP's historic election win. BNP will form government with Ali subjoint movement, says Mirza Fakhrul. Now in details. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party won a landslide victory in the first election held since a deadly 2024 uprising, with party chairperson Tariq Rahman poised to become Prime Minister. The BNP won a majority of more than 2/3 of the seats in the parliamentary polls, the Election Commission said today. According to the Election Commission figures, the BNP alliance had won 212 seats compared with 77 for the Islamist-led Jamaat Islami alliance, Commission Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed told reporters. About 68% people who voted in yesterday's referendum voted for yes. Election Commission Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed said. Voter turnout in the parliamentary election was 59.44%, while participation in the referendum was 60.26%, says Akhtar, while announcing the unofficial results of the 13th general election and the nationwide referendum at a press briefing at the Bangladesh Election Commission office. The US Embassy in Dhaka has issued a statement congratulating the BNP and its party chief Tariq Rahman for their historic victory in the 13th parliamentary election. The mission made a statement in a post on its official Facebook page at 7:48 am today. Congratulations to the people of Bangladesh on a successful election and to the Bangladesh Nationalist Party and Tariq Rahman on your historic victory, it wrote. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has also congratulated Tariq Rahman on leading the BNP to a resounding victory in the elections. I look forward to working closely with the new Bangladesh leadership to further strengthen our historic, brotherly, multifaceted bilateral relations and advance our shared goals of peace, stability and development in South Asia and beyond, he wrote on X. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Tariq Rahman on leading the BNP to a decisive victory. He said the win reflects the trust of Bangladeshi people in his leadership and reiterated that India will continue to support a democratic, progressive and inclusive Bangladesh. The Prime Minister added he looks forward to working with the new government to strengthen bilateral relations and advance shared development goals. Although major parties secured victory in the 13th national parliamentary election, the defeat of a number of well-known faces has drawn significant attention. Due to their active presence in national politics, they had generated considerable discussion ahead of the polls. However, vote counts on the ground told a different story, as many of them were defeated despite strong efforts. The most talked about candidate in Dhaka was NCP's Nasruddin Patwari in Dhaka 8 constituency. Various aspects of the campaign between Mirza Abbas and Nasruddin Patwari sparked widespread discussion on social media. In the end, Nasruddin Patwari lost by more than 5,000 votes. BNP candidate Mirza Abbas unofficially won the seat. Of the 109 centers in the constituency, voting was held directly in 108. Mirza Abbas received 56,552 votes from these centers and an additional 2,814 postal votes, bringing his total to 59,366 votes. Meanwhile, Nasruddin Patwari secured 51,572 votes from 108 centers and 2,555 postal votes, totaling 54,127 votes. A familiar face among young voters, Sarji Salom, was widely discussed before the election. In Panchagor 1 constituency, BNP International Affairs Secretary Barrister Nausha Zamir unofficially won, defeating NCP leader Sarji Salom. Following vote counting on Thursday, the District Returning Officer Office announced the unofficial results around 1 am. According to the results, Naushad Zamer secured 22,134 votes with the shape of paddy symbol, while Sarji Salom received 20,199 votes. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said the party will form the next government together with its allies who participated in the joint movement against the previous authoritarian administration. Speaking to journalists at his residence in Thakurgaon this morning, the senior BNP leader said the party remains committed to its promises and values its political partners. Mirza Fakhrul, a senior leader of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, also said the party has also never lost its popularity because it has consistently practiced people-oriented politics. BNP has been in government before and has fulfilled its responsibilities. When people accepted BNP's vision and policies, such a victory became possible, he added. Referring to Jamaat-e-Islami, he said extremist forces tend to rise when democracy is suppressed, and similar political dynamics have occurred in the country in the past. The national election has created a holiday mode across the capital, affecting the supply and prices of essential commodities. Limited vegetable availability has pushed prices higher, while anticipation of the upcoming Ramadan has added to consumer discontent. Most vegetables were being sold at Taka 5 to 10 higher than the last week. Large cauliflowers and cabbages are priced at Taka 40 per piece. Beans range from Taka 40 to Taka 60 per kg depending on variety. Prices of pumpkin, radish, papaya, turnip and broccoli have also risen Taka 5 to 10 each. Potatoes remain more stable, selling at Taka 20 to 25 per kg depending on type. Green chilies have risen Taka 15 to 20 per kg despite no increase in pungency. Meat and egg prices, steady chicken and beef prices remain close to last week's levels. Broiler chicken sells at Taka 180 to 85 per kg, while beef exceeds Taka 800 per kg depending on the area. Farm eggs are priced Taka 110 to 120 per dozen. Depending on quality, ginger and garlic sell at Taka 140 to 220 per kg. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিংয়ের জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900। বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিংয়ের জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. Crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation. Modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties. Seamless
welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. US President Donald Trump said on Thursday the United States has to make a deal with Iran and thinks a deal could be struck over the next month. A deal has to be made, otherwise it is going to be very traumatic, Trump told journalists. Trump also said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu should receive a pardon for corruption charges, saying Israeli President Isaac Herzog should be ashamed of himself for not granting one. Meanwhile, Donald Trump said he has not aware of Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's visit to the private island of the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump asserted that he had not discussed the matter with Lutnick and added that himself had never been there to Epstein's island. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday said he hoped that US President Donald Trump was creating the conditions to reach a deal with Iran that would avoid military action. Netanyahu, who met Trump for talks in Washington on Wednesday, said he had expressed general skepticism about any potential agreement. But Netanyahu said he told Trump Israel needed any deal to include a halt to Iran's nuclear program, limits on its ballistic missiles and Iran's proxies. Wednesday's meeting was the seventh between Trump and Netanyahu since Trump returned to office last year. Netanyahu was looking to influence the next round of the U.S. discussions with Iran following nuclear negotiations held in Oman last Friday.
הסכם כלשהו עם איראן, אבל אמרתי שאם אכן, כמובן השיחות התמקדו בכמה וכמה.
A Russian drone attack killed one person and injured 6 others at one of the ports in Ukraine's Odessa region on the Black Sea, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Alexis Kuleba said on Friday. Rescue workers hosed burning buildings with water in video released by the Ukraine's State Emergency Service.
Secured, elegant and eye-catching design. Indulge, relax, discover the first 5-star chain hotels in Bangladesh. Grand Palace Hotel Dhaka, 22 Kakrail, Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Welcome to Grand Club at Mirpur 10 Dhaka. Elegant spa and wellness.
Ukraine's western allies have already placed around $35 billion in military aid to Kyiv this year, British Defense Minister John Healey said on Thursday. The figure includes new commitments by individual countries but also previous promises made by Ukraine's allies, including the 11.5 billion euros already announced by Germany, a diplomat at NATO said. We will step up military assistance to the Ukraine. We will step up pressure on Russia, Healey said after a meeting of Ukraine's allies. In 2025, they raised some $45 billion in military aid for Ukraine, and Healey said they would seek to do more this year. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said his country was ready to deliver 5 new PAC-3 interceptors for Ukraine's defense, provided Ukraine's other allies deliver at least 30 or more of their own.
When it comes to air defense,
Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen on Friday urged European nations to bolster their collective defense and economic resilience, warning that the post-World War II global order has developed into a world disorder, requiring a stronger and more unified Europe. Frederiksen made these remarks upon her arrival at the Munich Security Conference. The comments come amid mounting geopolitical and economic tensions worldwide as European leaders seek ways to navigate a shifting global landscape. The Munich Security Conference, which annually attracts political leaders and defense officials, highlights pressing global security challenges and continues through the weekend.
Gør det, der skal til.
Venezuelan lawmakers on Thursday postponed debate on an amnesty bill, which is meant to grant immediate clemency to the individuals jailed for participating in political protests. Interim President Delcy Rodriguez, who took power last month after the U.S. ouster of President Nicolas Maduro, has bowed to Trump administration demands on oil sales and released hundreds of people whom human rights groups classified as political prisoners as part of the normalization in relations between the two countries. A complete version of the law has not been read in the legislature headed by the Rodriguez's brother, George Rodriguez, but recent drafts seen by Reuters this week are significantly less generous than a previous version. Later drafts do not list the crimes which count as political actions, including instigation of legal activity, resistance to the authorities, rebellion, treason, which were previously laid out in detail and do not give amnesty to those accused of defamation for criticizing authorities or lift Interpol red notices. The Argentine Chamber of Deputies on Thursday passed a bill to lower the age of criminal responsibility from 16 to 14, with the reform now pending approval by the Senate. The bill passed by 149 votes to 100 and reflects President Javier Milei's toe on the crime approach. The youth criminal law represents a step forward in the fight against impunity in Argentina. It seeks to make penalties harsher for justice to act in a timely manner and to put an end to the revolving door that allowed minors to enter and exit criminality on a permanent basis. The Cabinet Office account posted, adding the government would guarantee order in the streets.
No resuelve el problema de la conflictividad.
Japan has agreed with the United States to accelerate talks on the first batch of the deals under Japan's $550 billion investment package, as some issues still need to be worked out, Trade Minister Ryosuke Akazawa said on Thursday. Japan has been engaged in the very tough negotiations with the United States, with both sides' national interests at stake. Akazawa told reporters during a news conference in Washington, Japan has been under pressure to move faster on implementing the investment package agreed as a part of Tokyo's deal with Washington to lower tariffs on Japanese exports. Asked about the issues that need to be resolved, Akazawa said it takes time to assess its various metrics, such as projected interest rates for each project, adding that the talks are being conducted with Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's planned U.S. visit in mind to ensure it is fruitful. President Donald Trump is threatening to raise the tariffs on South Korea, which he accuses of dragging its feet on adopting a similar agreement reached last year.
米国との間で国益をかけた非常にタフな協議を続けてきたということであり。
China on Friday urged Japan to abide by their bilateral fisheries agreement after Tokyo seized a Chinese fishing boat and arrested its captain for allegedly fleeing inspection in its exclusive economic zone. Speaking during a regular briefing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said Beijing requires its fishermen to operate lawfully and called on Japan to ensure the safety and rights to the Chinese crew. The captain, a 47-year-old Chinese national, is accused of ignoring orders to stop for on-board inspection on Thursday in waters of southeastern Nagasaki Prefecture, said Japan's fisheries agency. While Japan has seized fishing vessels from South Korea and Taiwan in recent years, the incident is the first involving a vessel from China since 2022 and comes against the backdrop of a major diplomatic dispute between the countries. Taiwan President Lai Ching-te said tariff negotiations with the United States was a very important opportunity for Taiwanese companies to expand globally after signing a trade deal with the United States during a news conference on Friday. While speaking at reporters at the presidential office in Taipei, Lai said it is up to businesses to decide where best to spend the $250 billion. Whether it is TSMC or other industries, as long as the research and development centers are in Taiwan, the advanced manufacturing process are in Taiwan, and their largest production capacity is in Taiwan. Taiwan can continue to develop steadily. Lai said when asked whether TSMC's investments in the U.S. would risk for hollowing the Taiwan's industry. Lai mentioned Taiwan's reciprocal tariffs will be reduced to 15% from the 20% initially imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. The deal put Taiwan on an equal footing to its closest Asian export competitors, South Korea and Japan, he added.
因为台美未签署之
豁免的一个项目哦，但是我们降为零关税的项目，部长。
Before ending, we'll go to the headlines again. BNP clinches landslide victory in election, defeating Jamaat Islami-led alliance. Yes vote triumphs in referendum with 60% turnout, says EC. World leaders congratulate Tariq Rahman on BNP's historic election win. BNP will form government with Al-Isab joint movement, says Mirza Fakhrul. We're updated with the top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.